Hey YouTube, coming at you with an extremely balanced team, Swampert, Charizard. So it's very easy because Swampert's just weak to grass, Charizard's going to easily handle the grass. Both have stuff that can deal with steals like Registeel, like Earthquake and Blast Burn. So super easy core. I need a state swap. So I started off with the Regirock. If you have a Registeel, that would probably be better. I did not have a Registeel, so I used Regirock. And I really like Regirock. So like it's super fast to get to these. It's okay tank. It's super fast to get to these. I've got the legacy move Earthquake on it, but this, I believe it's Stone Edge here. So these lock-on just get to the Stone Edge so fast. So like I said, decently bulky, taking these foul plays, no problem. There's 2. They're going to need 4 foul plays. I already chipped with Swampert just to make sure that it is a lot easier to take this out. But like good damage on the Stone Edge there. So I could already take it out. I'm going to let them throw 1 more, maybe even a 4th. Does not really matter too much. So at the Stone Edge, I'm just going to go a little bit more and then throw here. So I have hopefully a bit of energy coming out of this. So take that out with ease, no problem. Hopefully I can get to an Earthquake. I can. I don't, again, I kind of need to because there's a Swampert in the front. And we're going to go over Swampert in a second for this team because, yeah, kind of a core breaker in the back. So good cannon on their part. They do get it off. That's fine. Regirock has done its job. I've got shield advantage. They do have energy advantage. So that is sort of the only drawback. I'm going to have to shield here just to match shields. And now hopefully I can just stay a bit ahead on energy. Once I get 2 Hydros off, because 1 won't take out, but 2 will. Did I see the first Pokemon? I have. It's the Charizard. Right. I was like, why am I catching a Hydro Cannon? Because there's the Charizard on the lead. I remember that. Yeah, I was like, my win condition I thought was like sacrificing. I don't really want to go into the Charizard versus Charizard matchup. So I thought my win condition was just like catching that, make them dump their energy, and then taking it with Swampert. And in the ending, it did work. CMP there. I don't even think a Hydro from this range, their non-shadow takes me out here. It only does like 60-ish%, and I'm still in the green, but I still managed to get to the move ahead of them. So take them out for the win there. Overall, pretty okay game. Reggie, good lead here. Again, I have 2 answers for this. Even the Regirock does okay because it has Earthquake, right? So take a Focus Blast. You can live with Focus Blast with these in the Great League, Ultra League. Now it's just kind of worried about a catch, but they do not catch. They decide to shield and then give up switch, and this is where it's kind of nice here having a look at how fast you get to those Stone Edges. I used it in an Ultra League factions bout, and I was just like so shocked how fast it got to those Stone Edges. I know they have an Earthquake, but I'm gonna let it go because I can live an Earthquake and still get to another move before they take me out. Right? So this is good. I don't mind aligning my Charizard on their Registeel either, so they don't have 2 shields. That is fine. They take me out. I just come in Swampert, Hydro Cannon it, take it out, and I got a 2-shielded Swampert / Charizard to deal with whatever is in the back. And I gotta imagine that Charizard and Swampert can deal with whatever in the back. Unless it's like a pure like water gun, like a Tapu Fini, then it would be a little trickier with the Charizard, but even then I could probably still get to 2 Blast Burns. And they are not leaving. I'll have to shield 1 Zap Cannon for sure, but shielding 1, coming out with energy. They catch on a Talonflame, which is, I guess, a good catch. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty resisted. I think I probably would have gone Dragon Claw. So I'm just going to wait, because I feel like if I shield as a Brave Bird, I can just Dragon Claw down. If not, I can get a bunch more energy, and it is. So get a bunch of energy, Dragon Claw here, Blast Burn for the win on the Reggie. So these two just like seem to be able to really kind of deal with everything. Giratina, kind of a rough lead. You just need to stay in. Like Giratina is a little tough for this team. You can kind of deal with it with all the Pokemon, but all Pokemon are probably losses anyways. Like I throw the Earthquake here. I believe they shield and then I go into Reggie because I just don't want them to get like so far ahead on energy. And maybe draw out something. I draw out a Cobalion, which again, I am weak to counter. The rock is such a weird typing because you're weak to a lot of things in this meta. You're weak to ground, fighting, and water, and grass. So quite a lot of weaknesses and a lot of other like meta weaknesses. I do get an Earthquake off. That's nice. At this point, I'm like, you know what? Charizard with my energy is probably my win condition here. So I do get some chip here. That's fine. I do need to watch out for a Stone Edge. So is that a Stone Edge? No, just Sacred Sword. So I'll eat the Sacred Sword. That's fine. Resisted. Come out with a Claw. So if the Giratina comes in, I can do it with it there. There's a Tapu, and that is sort of your lose condition in the back, is having a Tapu. And I'm eventually, you're going to see here, going to have a lose condition that is... Yeah, I'm like, my only way to win this potentially is farm down, come out with like 3 Blast Burns, but this thing is just so spammy. I think between the Tapu here and the Swampert in one of these matches coming up, that's when I decided to switch, because you are double weak to grass on this team. So if you have like a Trevenant lead, you're in trouble. And you're double weak to water in the back. So Swampert and Tapus cause me problems. So that is why I decided to switch. I switched to A9. You don't need to use A9. You can use walrein. Walrein's just as good. You don't have any counter weaknesses on this team. So walrein still covers those sort of weaknesses. I used A9. I think it's because Haxorus. Quite honestly, I think I still had like 2 or 3 Haxorus. So I decided to use A9 because A9 Swampert, as everyone knows, is just a very, very, very easy core to use. They come a Sandslash, double weak to Blast Burn. So even if they, even if my tech's lowered, this is still going to basically one shot. So they essentially need to double shield or just get nuked. And it is a Clefable. Don't even know if I'll have to show my Regi because these Hydro Cannons are going to spam like crazy. There's one. If I can get this one off, I'm probably going to shield. I don't need... can I live a... I can... Oh, I was about to say. Maybe I should have shielded. They're baiting there. It doesn't matter because like Regi just with Stone Edge gets to it so fast. I'll be able to take it out, but not as fast as these Hydro Cannons. Jesus. Hydro Cannon, ridiculous. So Swampert on the lead here. I think with this backline, I should have like taken this out or really, really focused on taking this out and saving my Swampert for it. And I think what I eventually did is, yeah, the Clefable came in. So I need to immediately get out to Charizard here. What I was thinking was like, I'm basically at 2 Hydros, I'll just grab a shield here and then go into Charizard, and then they throw it, so then I try to get more energy, and I just play this wrong. Like, you see Clefable, go Charizard. It's not that hard. Not that hard at all. So really, really dumb play by me. But in the ending, when you have that sort of double weakness to Swampert and waters and grass, it's just not a great team build. So I think Registeel, even though you're kind of still double weak to Swampert in the back, I think Registeel would work fine. Where this is weak is like if you have a Trevenant on the lead, any grass on the lead, or if you would like stay into it in a good matchup, having that in the back. So what you're going to see here is I decided to let this go, saving like maybe a shield with Earthquake. I'll take this out, and it does not, and then I just get hydroed both places. So that is when I switched. And then I switched, and I went on a very, very, very nice run with A9, which you are going to see. Because again, Charizard, Swampert will deal with the steals, which is what A9 will have problems with. You are double weak to rock. There's not a ton of like pure rock in this league, right? There's very, very few rock type Pokemon that aren't also steel that take super effective from the Blast Burns. So I'm trying to think like what pure rock, like it has to be like a Smackdown Crustler or something, but even then you can Blast Burn that. So yeah, so then in comes the A9, and on the lead against another Swampert here. You don't need to use, the question I always get asked is, do you need to use Shadow? No, you don't need to use Shadow. Maybe there's a difference in the overall wins. Let me just quickly bring that up. I don't think it matters in the long run if you use Shadow versus non-Shadow. In Ultra League here, so the difference between Swampert, so rank 7 rank 7 Shadow Swampert is 22, 23. Rank 10 is 28 and 17. So really, even though it's ranked higher, you have a lot more losses with the Shadow. And I think it's just based on your overall, I think that comes down to your overall win percentage. No, your battle rating is worse. Your battle rate weighting, cannot talk today. Your battle rating is worse with Shadow. Your record is way worse than with Shadow. Yet you are ranked higher as the Shadow by 3 spots, which is interesting to me. What I think it comes down to is, no, even your distribution is weirder. You definitely have way more harder wins. Maybe that's taken into consideration. I don't know the full reason. Anyways, so you don't need Shadow Swampert, that's for sure. And I've got to imagine it's the same thing with Charizard. Charizard non-Shadow is ranked 22 with a 23-23 record. And Charizard Shadow is ranked 35 with a 28-18 record. Yo, PvPoke, I love your site. What is happening here? What is happening here? I think I'd have to ask him why that's the case, because right now it's saying the Charizard Shadow is way better than the non-Shadow, and the non-Shadow Swampert is way better, but the rankings are inverse. And I think, if I had to guess, and let me just look at the battles here. Yeah, those are your super hard losses, and I've got to imagine that that's taken into consideration more. Yes, and that is, so this is my guess. My guess is that the ranking system is based on your matchups against the top 20 ranked Pokemon. That is my guess, because Shadow Charizard, even though it has a 28-18 record, your matchups against the main meta are really, really bad. Stunfisk, Swampert, Giratina Altered, Jalis and Tapu Fini, Registeel, they're all like below 400, and a lot of these are below 300. And if you go to the regular Charizard, you still have a few of those, but then you're like your other Swamperts and your Giratina Alters at like 433. So my guess is that it takes into consideration the meta that you are facing. That being said, it looks like both of them have good records. I think you can use Shadow or non-Shadow. You can just go in and look at the actual win, but it's not just. You got to remember though, it's an outcome of like two things. One, your actual like win losses in that matchup, but it's also sort of like how much. What you're not seeing in those win losses is how much energy you have left over, how much health you have left over. Because in some of these matchups, let's just say the non-shadow has more wins, but his rank's lower. It could be because in those shadow matchups, when you win, you like either have a lot of health or a lot of energy left over, and then like coming in, unless you have like a super strong answer for Charizard, like a water, you come into a loaded shadow Charizard with Blast Burn, that's going to add up too, right? So it's also like the secondary effects. So I don't think all that is completely covered in these rankings, but I like that. That's the type of stuff that you need to think about with these rankings. The rankings are a guiding point, and like I obviously use PvPoke nonstop as quick analysis of like top teams and matchups and everything like that. But you definitely need to just take it with a grain of salt. It's not the be all end all. It gives you an idea of teams. It gives you an idea of how to do this stuff, but it does not mean you need to follow it to the T sort of thing. But 100% a useful tool. Just like this channel is a very useful tool to get ideas for teams and maybe learn a thing or two along the way. So I'm gonna Moonblast this into Oblivion, or Dazzling Gleam it into Oblivion, even worse. I believe with that was a 5-0. Was this the 5-0 set? Yeah. Like, so I ran with this team pretty hard after. It's funny because I, at the end of Great League, tried a bunch of teams and just like fell extremely hard. I was down to like 2010 ELO, which is like a 200 plus drop with teams. I didn't showcase those teams. Like if I try a team and it goes 1-4, I just like scrap it. But now I'm back up to like 2350. So I've run like 350 ELO in like 3 days. And it was my Nidoqueen team yesterday where I went on an 8-game win streak. It was this team where I went the 5-0 here. It's a team you're going to see in the Element Cup tomorrow. It was my Legend team from last season, but it's my Element Cup team, which I went 8-2, 7 like 8-2 or 7-3, something like that, like positive again. So yeah, like I said, it's early for your rating and worrying about positioning, but you can make it back quickly if you get a good team. Anyways, that is it. I appreciate you watching. Appreciate the comments and supports. Have a good weekend because it's going up tomorrow, Saturday. And then the Element Cup team will go up on Sunday. Oh, yeah, it's too late to tell you about the time. You may have been wondering why. This went up 2 hours later than normal, and I'm just looking at my analytics page. So YouTube gives you the best time that your audience is online, and my Saturday videos have always done terrible, which is fine. Like, I don't watch YouTube really on the weekends, so Saturday, Sunday are always way worse. But YouTube also gives you something of like when your audience is online. So during a weekday, like it starts to pick up right around 7 a.m. It gets a bit darker at 8 a.m. and then it's like full court press. Everyone's online at 10 a.m. right? And that's Monday through Friday. So that's why I could post at 7:30 because that's when like the pickup starts and everything. The pickup for the weekend doesn't start till like 10 a.m. and then full crunch is like 12. So it's a couple hours behind on the weekend, and it makes sense. Like you're sleeping in later, you got stuff going on in the morning, errands to run, you maybe watch it around like lunch or early afternoon. So what I'm going to do is start pushing back these weekend. So even tomorrow, you're going to see, I'm going to start pushing back these weekend videos by a few hours. Maybe have them go live at like 9:30 a.m. instead of 7:30. So that's why this one was later. That's why tomorrow mornings will be a bit later as well. But that is it. I will see you guys in the next one.